because Zara, your daughter, was ill that time because she was having a
Yes, yes.
temperature. And then you were like, oh my God, are you already there? And I'm like, dude, just don't think about it because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, you need to take that time for yourself
That's so nice
to
to know
just
that.
recuperate. Yeah.
That's so nice to have moms like that. But
Yeah.
then again, we're privileged to found each other
True.
to be like that. But some might
True.
not. But that's why you have to be on a lookout if you are going through a burnout,
Yeah.
especially if you have to take care of like kids that's need your attention all the time.
But how can you tell, like, what's your, like, do you think there's a difference between, like, just having a bad day versus a burnout? Because, like, I've
Yeah.
had bad days.
Yes, I have bad days, but I think the burnout was this in 2023.
Okay. This year.
Yes.
Wait, no, last year.
Last
Sorry.
year.
Sorry.
Last year.
Holy moly, it's 2024.
2023, I think it was like August, October. After the accident, I still pushed through.
Hey, welcome to Mama's Here. I'm Diyana Hashim.
And I'm Sofea Mastan. We're here to share the real unfiltered sides of motherhood.
Think of us as your mom gang on this insane adventure, constantly learning, growing, and most of the time, just winging it.
Mama's here because we know you've always been there for others.
Now it's our turn to be there for you.
Hello, beautiful people of the world. Welcome back to Mama's Here. I'm Sofea Mastan.
And I'm Diyana Hashim, and today we're diving into a topic that most, if not all, moms are able to relate, and that would be burnout.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Burn out.
Yep.
That is my word of the year.
Really, is it that bad? Oh, really? Seriously?
Yes, that's
Okay.
really bad this year.
Oh my gosh.
That sneaky feeling that creeps up on you when you're juggling a million things at once. It's like being the CEO of a 24/7 operation with no off days.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus, that
true.
I'm a mom and you're a mom.
Oh my gosh.
So burnout is just another level.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like to the breaking point, and if you can sense the tone, we are at the breaking point at this point. So, which is why it's gonna be just us this time around. And
Wait,
yeah.
let me just welcome. So we welcome our guests, Sofea and Diyana.
Yes, that is what we are doing today. It's just the two of us. It's a special episode where Sofea and I start talking about feeling burnt out as moms, but we'll still have our sassy Sally after this, and it's going to be so exciting.
Yes, but first, let's hear a quick message from our sponsors.
We at Grow and Glow Mama are a sanctuary where motherhood meets empowerment. Together, we embrace strengths, lean on each other, and illuminate the path for all mamas. Join our vibrant community on Instagram and hotline group. Let's grow and glow together every step of the way.
All right, we're back and ready to dive into the world of burnout. Yay!
Woo-hoo-hoo. Burnout.
You see how burnout has made us become this?
I mean, like, it's just one of those things where it's like you think you have X amount of things to do on your list, but the next thing you know, it feels like you have 1,000 more things to do, and you're just about to shoot yourself in the foot for getting yourself double booked, and then your mom brain starts to operate for whatever bleeding reason, and then after that, we are done. Like, we crack, and we have to see our therapist. When was the last time you saw a
Oh
therapist?
my God, so long. 'Cause
Yeah?
the last therapist that I had didn't help me. So that gives me another burnout. I'm just kidding. But I want to ask you, Dee.
Okay.
What was your aha moment when you realized you were heading towards burnout?
Okay, so for me personally, like, I don't know about you, La. Like, so I think here on out, we already know I have ADHD, but there's this thing inside me that I can hear a lot of noises in my head. But then the more burnt out I am, or when I'm reaching to that point, I actually start to go like, like the kettle is about to boil, like, yeah. And then after that, you can sort of feel your insides just moving around, like, just it's like a wave of don't know what, like just shifting in your body. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I have to do something about it right now before I actually start to snap. So technically, that's usually when I identify that I'm about to enter burnout zone. And it also comes at a point where if people start not understanding what I'm saying because my words just jumble up together, and I try to do like 5,000 things at once, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Just focus on that one thing there and then to complete it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, mate, I just want to get it done. Otherwise I'll procrastinate, and that's just the worst feeling ever. But what about you, babe?
I at least you know when you're going through burnout. I wouldn't know until
Really?
my husband said to me that I think you're going through a burnout, stop. But then I never know how to stop.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy. I think we need to know when to stop and need to know that it's okay. Because I think society now, especially social media, like to say that, oh, if you have so many on your plate, you're like successful, you're doing things and all these things. So it's in my head, like, no, I cannot stop. If I stop, then I am going to be like one step backward.
So you have that like
FOMO
of achieving things.
And I think we talked about this with one of the episodes that we did with Ili.
Yeah.
Where it's about people pleasing.
Yeah.
And I'm that.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, like, even with my clients, I'm always like want to please them. Sometimes they ask ridiculous things, but I do like still want to please them.
Do you want to talk about that? You want to talk about your clients? This is a safe space, folks. Okay?
Even for us.
We can talk about anything we want at this point of time. No, it's true though, but this is exactly why we are doing this episode in the first place. This is a feeling where if you're not satisfied about something, sometimes it's okay to rant about it.
Yeah.
It's especially if you have a person that you can talk to about these sort of things.
Exactly. And also we're not perfect. Everybody bound to have something they're not happy about, or you have burnout and it's okay, and you're not happy with certain clients or certain friends
or certain children
or certain
partners.
Yes, exactly. But it's okay. It's not like we hate them.
Yes.
It's just that we are human and we need space to rant and we need space to just let it out.
Okay. And also try to figure out how to manage it as much as possible. So basically in this particular situation, like, what is your boiling point? Like, you felt like you just have to keep going through, like, you just have to keep pushing yourself despite the boiling point. Like, have you done that this year?
Oh, yes. I think we had talked about this a few weeks ago.
Okay, remind me again. Since there's no guest over here.
Let's just talk about it. This is so fun. I like doing this. I'm just kidding. So Dee is my therapist today.
I charge 100 ringgit per hour. Thank you. Go on.
So because I have that people pleasing thing, I think. So even though the client asks ridiculous thing, I'll just push through. And even though I know I'm tired.
Yeah.
And at a point, I actually had a car crash. So I didn't sleep.
Oh, that was the day that you had the car crash.
Yeah, I blacked out. And my two daughters are inside the car.
Oh my God, dude.
Yes. And then I remember that I had to stop. Like, I just had to stop because because to me, the client has paid me a certain amount to do a job. And then if I don't satisfy them, then I'm like, okay, I feel guilty. I feel bad.
This is why I hate the service industry.
Right.
Can't do PR, can't do F&B. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, you are not just looking to pleasing yourself. It's like there's the clients and then the clients' customers and so on and so forth. It's just like a never-ending thing.
Yeah. And you see, you can see it because I think that day you say, are you burning out? You were asking me.
Yeah.
But what are, there's some sneaky sign that you think that mom have that they might overlook?
Oh, a sneaky sign that moms have that they might overlook.
Even stay-at-home mom can be burned out,
Of course.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Exactly.
Without a doubt. Okay, yeah. Okay, I mean, I want to share a story from a friend of mine, but okay, fine. I will say it, but I won't say who. But
okay,
it was a really sad situation, because I think at that point, her partner was working, he was traveling a lot, and it's not just like one of those he leaves for a couple of days at a time and comes back and everything, but it was more towards him being away for 2 weeks at a time and stuff like that. And so from that point on, she was just with her son at home by herself. And the thing is, for her, she's got a very gentle personality as it is, but her son is a tad bit on the hyperactive side. And I will say hyperactive because my daughter is hyperactive, can balance each other out got a lot of energy, need to go running all the time. But there was this one period where I think she was she started texting me like really weird stuff. Like macam it's almost like a conversation that was meant to be for someone else. That I was like, oh, okay, like you're jumbling some people's texts with other people. Are you okay? And then she was like, oh, sorry, like I've got a lot of things on my mind. And I was like, okay, do you want to meet up on this day? And then we were like, okay, let's meet up then. But then after that, the next thing you know, she like forgot, and because she double booked herself, and then it was just like I was just waiting for her.
Oh my goodness.
Kesian gila, dude. It was really, really sad.
But then again, that's so nice that you understand that, you know?
Dude, absolutely. Which is a disclaimer that I need to add, by the way, in Mamas here, okay? Because we want to create this kind of safe space, I think one of the things that, like, I definitely learned when it comes to being a mom, actually, funny enough, Ili was the one who told me this. Our guest, Ili Sulaiman, that was here. She actually was the one who told me when I was pregnant, like, towards the end of my third trimester. She says, this is the time where you can actually have the license to be late or to say no.
So nice that she said that.
Yeah, because it's true. Like, and in the end, from that point, it made me realize, like, oh, actually, you're right. Because the reason why is because I'm healing at the moment. My body might not feel great at all. Therefore, I might not be in the mental capacity to want to go out. Or it could be that my child is not cooperating and getting ready within the 15 minutes that I asked them to, but they're taking like ages and ages on hand. And there are so many different circumstances that could potentially happen along the way due to your frazzled brain as a mom. It happens. Don't judge me for calling mom brain very frazzling. It's there. It just exists. But fact of the matter is, like, when she told me that, and then when my friend sort of like forgot that we were meeting up, and I was just sat there. Luckily, I mean, like, it's not like a bad place to be waiting. It's a cafe, so I was just like eating my like sandwich, my little tart, and whatever nonsense, drinking my coffee.
And she totally forgot that. Yeah, like, she didn't even text you saying that
she did not text. She did not text. But somehow or rather, in my head, I kind of knew that the reason why she had not texted, but she was at that point 15 minutes late. I was like, I'll wait. Don't worry, like, it's okay. Because she could be, like, suddenly realize at the final minute and then, like, oh my God, I'm on my way and she's driving. I don't want to add on that stress.
Yeah.
It was only after, like, about 30 minutes where I was like, are we still meeting up? And she was like, oh my God, are you there? And I was like, yes, I'm here. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Like, just chill out. So that's why, like, the other day when we were supposed to meet up, and then you were like, you had... because Zara, your daughter, was ill that time because she was having a temperature. And then you were like, oh my God, are you already there? And I'm like, dude, just don't think about it, because at the end of the day, you need to take that time for yourself.
That's so nice to know
just
that.
Recuperate.
That's so nice to have moms like that. But then again, we're privileged to find each other.
True.
To be like that. But some might not. But that's why you have to be on a lookout if you are going through a burnout.
Yeah.
Especially if you have to take care of, like, kids that's need your attention all the time.
But how can you tell, like, what's your, like, do you think there's a difference between, like, just having a bad day versus a burnout? Because, like, I've had bad days.
Yes, I have bad days, but I think the burnout was this in 2023.
Okay. This year?
Yes.
Wait, no, last year. Sorry.
Last year.
Holy moly, it's 2024.
2023, I think it was like August, October. After the accident, I still pushed through. So then I remember I met a friend of mine, Sarah Baghrib. She has this platform called Crazy Cat that is also for mental wellness for women.
Okay.
And she said to me, like, let's have a meetup. So we did a meeting in, like, Zoom. And she's like, Sofea, let's not work. How about you take a time to process the accident? I said, no, let's just do it. So the next day after the accident, I actually worked. And I remember that night, actually, I have to post content for a client. I posted. And then one of my friend, Dr. Irma, which is also one of the guests on Mamas here.
Yeah.
And she was like, if you do not put down the phone, I'm gonna. She's like that. So I'm like, I'm so blessed to have friends that, like, tell me to stop.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that I had a burnout.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, it's important for us to talk to people. It's important to have partners that actually tell us, like, to, like, shush or take your phone away.
Yeah, or ground you a little bit
Yeah.
more. I mean, your husband does that for you. Do you guys have, like, a safe word or, like, or an indication?
He's probably just, like, just take my phone away and just, like, hide it somewhere for, the rest of the night. And even though you have that do not disturb thing on iPhone, yeah, like, after 1 hour of doing this, I just still open
turn it off.
Turn it on again.
Turn off the do not
So
disturb.
it doesn't really help.
Yeah.
But of course, being burnout, besides, the traumatic experience of having an accident, right? I want to
Yeah.
ask you if you had a funny moment
Mm.
that you had while, like when you had a burnout, then there's a funniest, almost ironic thing that happened to you.
Oh my gosh. I I, I want to say, okay lah, this is not very good. Um it was sometime last year. I'm not going to say for which work I was doing.
Okay.
Okay? And I don't know if I told you this, but like it was a period where it was just like my daughter was not getting enough sleep. And the thing is, it's like one of those things where you can probably go with not sleeping for a while, like because you think your brain is on autopilot, lah, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
But then it comes to a point where your battery is like so low that you just need to energize. That my brain became so clouded. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what
Oh
was
my
happening,
God.
where I was. I had a massive disconnect. I mean, like, that's not very funny. The funny part was I was I completely forgot that I had an event to MC.
I thought you want to say I've completely forgot that I have a daughter.
Oh, no. I always, how can you forget? Do you know how bad she kicks me? And she's like, I mean, bless her, but her highs and her hellos are the sweetest thing ever. But it was that time where the funny part was that I had forgotten that I had to MC an event.
So what happened?
And the sad part was because I had, at that period of time, for whatever reason, I stopped putting things in my calendar. So I stopped listing stuff out. I would think that I remembered to put it, but I would delay it and whatever. And that's usually when I realize I'm a bit frazzled, when I don't put stuff down. And then when that happened, luckily, I had rehearsals way earlier in the day for the event in the evening, that the person texted me like half an hour beforehand. And luckily the event space was near my house. So thank fuck for that, because I ran my ass off into the toilet. I did not wash my hair. I never put that much talcum powder in my hair because my hair was damn oily at that period. Like, I hadn't washed my hair for 4 days, and I put talcum powder in my hair, and then like it was just like getting dressed, and I rushed. Luckily, it was like I had the right kind of clothes to wear. Like, where it was almost as if like pop 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 pop.
Yeah.
But imagining it in my head, like looking
It's
back.
funny.
Of course, it's funny because if I had a camera with someone watching me do what I was
A day in life, and Diyana Hashim forgot.
Yeah, it's like really, really hilarious. And then so I showed up, and then like everything went perfectly fine afterwards. And then like the event manager was like, "So, how are you?" And I was like, "I'll be completely frank, babe. I totally forgot that the event was today." And I admitted it to her.
Oh,
I had to, because I was just like, I'm like, I have, because she was very like, you have so much energy. You have so much energy. And do you know, like, when someone says that to you, you have so much energy, I start to wonder myself, like, where do we get this energy from? Because it just like almost doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, where do you recharge? Like, how do you recharge? Like, especially if you're at burnout stage as well.
I don't-
push yourself with all those clients. Do your
Yeah.
clients.
I know. You know the story
Yes, I
unfilled
do.
behind the scenes. But anyways, I don't know how I recharge, because since 5 years ago, I've never had enough sleep. Because I have like a 5-year-old. And usually I fear of missing out is one thing, because okay, after work then you want to come home and you want to spend time with your husband, and that's
Yeah.
like another hour when you can actually sleep.
Yeah.
And if let's say you don't spend time with your husband, you feel disconnected with him and it's not nice.
Yeah,
There's so
yeah.
many things that you to think about. It's not just
Yeah.
work, it's not just the client, it's also the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And it's also like, okay, I also want to do things like my dreams, and
Yeah.
I want to do all these things. All of these things, talking about it now, it's just like, oh my God, it's giving me like that burnout. You know, like that kind of thing. Oh my God, yeah. You think and you never stop thinking, even at night.
Yeah, do you know though, like, so I went to Bali one time to see my sister, and then she decided to take us to all these like kid-friendly places for my daughter to like play with or whatever. And I
nice.
can tell you there's so many really nice places there,
Yeah.
without a doubt. And I was very blessed to be there. And while I was taking in a lot of gratitude of being at a very relaxing place, the number of hot moms that I saw
Oh my
with their
God.
kids. And
With
I
the
mean,
bikinis.
no, dude, it was bikinis. One thing, all I could think of, what is cellulite? What is hair loss? What is bad skin?
Is
What is this and
Is
that?
it because they live in Bali? That's why they're like that? Because it's always zen?
No, dude, you gotta whoops. You still have to work it out. But I sort of like had this like mindset shift. Sorry, I was to play on word mindset shift.
I'm frazzled right now.
I'm really frazzled because I'm just like really like still at like in at awe and disbelief of like the moms that I saw in Bali. But they basically had like, it was almost as if they had their shit together. But I thought about it through and through and through, and I kind of realized the reason why they're like that is not just because they're in Bali, okay? Because there are some other hot moms elsewhere and whatever, okay?
That's so true, yeah.
First things first, I have a theory. Look at how old those kids are. They're all above the ages 3. They're like 3 and above, at least 4 and above, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has given them the 4 years to suffer like crazy. So we don't know what they were like like a few years ago kind of situation. And another thing I started to realize was that, because you were talking about deciding what to do and so many things to balance out that you want to try to achieve, I think they had either achieved one thing or the other first. So if our goal is either hot bod or career, they would have either A, had a hot bod first, or B, had a good career first before they focus on the other thing.
Okay, so I have time for the hot bod.
Everyone got time. The golden question is, you want to do it or not?
Exactly, it's not easy.
That's why the other day I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, do I want to be fit AF and like go to the gym and do this? Yes, but not right now. I have no mental space for this.
But sometimes you do want it because of the pressure, especially that we work.
Yeah.
You know how your line of work as well. Imagine going for events and looking at all these women and their moms too, and they have like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, you don't even get me started with that. Here's a disclaimer, okay? When you work in the entertainment industry anywhere around the world that involves people looking at you, despite some who may claim that they are body positive and so on and so forth, they are not necessarily the case due to the fact where you still have some backward clients who don't agree with that matter of fact. Like, it was crazy how I had approached a fellow MC. I messaged a friend of mine. She's an MC as well. And I asked her, should I reveal the fact that I am pregnant? Because when she revealed the fact that she was pregnant with her kid, they didn't want to work with her. They cancelled her contract. They cancelled her show. I mean, they got some other MC. And she said, these are the facts that you will have to deal with. So if you want to, then go for it, but be prepared to lose out some jobs. And it was like really shocking that it had happened. But the worst part was, even after like having given birth, but not being in the weight that I used to be, they still say no because now they're going for the fit ones. And it's really sad. So like when it comes to figuring out like all of that, it will eat you up. But the only thing that we could think of is having some kind of self-care. And speaking of which, like, do you have a routine?
Self-care? You know, last night I was sleeping at like 11 or 10.
Best, yeah.
Then I woke up because I couldn't sleep at 2 o'clock and I cook. Because I was thinking about, today I'm going to have a whole day. So let me cook for my kids. And then while I was cooking, waiting for because everybody was asleep, I look at the podcast says, wellness for women that is broke.
Wellness for women
that is, because wellness
that are broke.
Yeah. So there's a podcast actually for that, like to on a budget. Okay, not broke, on a budget. Okay. So
say it like it is. Broke.
On a budget. Broke. Because it's not cheap. You know, maintaining, having a routine. I don't have that, especially being a mom. It's like sometimes you want to be so pretty and then suddenly your daughter poop and then, oh my God, and then their poop is like so smelly in your hands, like whatever. And you just did a mani-pedi and it's just like all over. So it's not beautiful. It doesn't, motherhood as much as it's, oh my God, they're so cute. It's so funny. They're not. They're cute, but sometimes like the 90% of the time it's really not that cute. And I don't have a self-care routine. I just go as it is. My husband helps by always saying, "Oh, you look pretty." I say, "Oh, you're just saying it because I'm your wife."
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think self-care comes from inside.
Yeah.
when you feel like you're good, you feel confident, you feel like that. I think that's self-care for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I feel good today, even
Yeah.
though like maybe I gained so much weight
Yeah.
since after giving birth.
Yeah.
So I think that's my self-care.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, like, okay, I keep forcing myself to do like a standard facial routine, like my toilet time lah. Basically, it's like spend more than 5 minutes in the shower. That's the rule. I spend at least an additional 7 minutes in front of the mirror to do my face routine, which is
So
very
nice.
basic AF lah. It's just a cleanser and then like a toner and a moisturizer. So I used to be a 7-step girl. Now I'm a 3-step girl.
What we take, what we get.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, you want to get a moisturizer that's also a sunscreen, okay? Because that makes life a whole lot easier that you don't have to apply too many times. But either ways, it's like, it's those little bits. I'm currently battling my body at this point of time. Like, that's one of the things.
But you look so, to me, on the outside, you look so confident.
Thank you.
Of your body, though.
I'm very glad that you see that.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the truth that I'm absolutely not feeling like that on the inside, because I, for one, take really long to pick out what to wear, because I'm just like, I will know that won't fit.
See?
Because that didn't fit me. It barely fit me then, but it definitely won't fit me now. And I don't understand why I still have it in my closet,
Because you have that hope.
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
that. I have this bajut that I in my closet before I met my husband. And I
you went
love-
that far back.
Yeah, but
dude.
it's true. I've gained so much weight since I gave birth to my 5-year-old, and I've like you constantly struggle to lose weight. I don't really like my body now,
Yeah.
but then again, I cannot say it out loud because I have a 5-year-old that can pick up everything.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you telling me about
Yeah.
that. But like, it is sad how all of the things and the little things accumulate so much.
And it makes us so burnout.
It's the worst thing that you could possibly like have. You just like, it's almost like this again, it is a never ending list that you are completely unhappy about in life.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
But I'm very interested in, like you say, you're very uncomfortable with your body, right?
Yeah.
But then on the outside, like
Yeah.
for me, as somebody that look at you, you look very confident because you're an MC and then you talk in front of people, and I always look at you like you're so beautiful, like even though you have one daughter, that kind of thing. But why do you still feel like that?
I think it's because my sense of insecurities. I've always had a weight thing. Even, the pissiest thing is that, do you know that feeling when you look at photos like back in 10 years ago, and then you're like, shit, I used to be so skinny, right?
Where?
But
where
you
is
know,
that person?
where's that person? Do you know what I remember? Do you know 10 years ago when I took that photo, I said, oh my God, I'm so fat.
Oh my God, yes!
It is so
We-
effing true.
So true.
And the thing is, like, I'm trying not to be unkind to myself. I don't like what I am because I feel like I'm not strong. I don't care about being skinny. It's like, I'm not strong. My core muscle after like a year
Same,
of
you and I
giving
both.
birth is like a bit more than a year of giving birth. My core muscle is still non-existent. In fact, it's so bad that like the time last year I wanted to start exercising, and bearing in mind I thought like I'm champion lah because I used to work out relatively often, maybe like 2 years before I got pregnant kind of thing. Yeah. But then I went and worked out for like 4 days in a row, and then I got sick. My body genuinely shut down. It was so bad. But like, I find that, finding that confidence within, on top of the whole burnout stuff,
It's hard too, right?
yeah. But when you were dealing, like, cause you have Mariam, she's already 5. She's turning 6, right?
Turning 6 next year.
Yeah. So basically, at this point, you'd have to be incredibly mindful because of what you say.
Oh yes.
How does she have like anything that she sees that you didn't want her to see? Because like, for example, when I get really upset, I scream my ass off in front of Alia, and like I've noticed she started picking up some habits where she's like, I don't know what I mean. I'm not sure where the grumble comes from, but she's like, I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, who's doing it?
And she's just one, and she's
Yeah.
already picking it up.
Yeah.
Same. Mariam is the same thing, but because when I have burnout, my punchback is my husband. So I'm always like, like I came back from work and it's because of, like, I'm annoyed with like a client or something.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
you're so annoying. Why didn't you do this? Why you do it? So I pick on him.
Oh, yeah.
And then because of that, my
Yeah.
daughter pick it up.
Oh no.
So when she's annoyed at something, oh, I don't want to listen to you, daddy. Oh, daddy, like this. Then my husband,
no.
yeah.
Oh my
So that's what my husband said. She looked like me, but her character is a copy paste of you. So I feel guilty in that sense.
Yeah, you
but
do. I bet you do that
so much, because sometimes I can't control myself when I'm having a burnout, right? Like mental
Yeah.
space, you're not there.
Yes.
You can't be a proper mom.
Yeah.
You can't be a proper wife.
Yeah.
And you just pick and point to the most comfortable person that you have. And
Yeah.
it's my husband.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Sayang,
Yeah.
for this, but he's the most incredible, patient
Yeah.
human being. And I'm so glad I met him.
Yes.
Again, it's not good because I keep on doing it to my
Mm-hmm.
husband. Therefore, my daughter is like, "Mommy,
Mm.
Daddy is so annoying." Sometimes she does that.
No.
So that is my fault and my fault alone. But see how burnout can make you go through,
crazy
to do
man.
things, and you need to be mindful as a
Yeah,
mom.
Yeah.
And even then, thinking about, oh, how do you do this? How do you make sure that you're a good mom and all these things?
yeah,
Even
yeah.
the mom guilt makes you burn out.
Oh, don't even get me started with that, man. But it's great that like you had that moment for
Yeah.
like a self-realization that you have to be very mindful. I think one of the things that not a lot of people do experience is that opportunity to confront the person, to say you have to check yourself right now. And that has happened to me before. I think this is like months into after having given birth, and I think I was just like so bloody exhausted because at that point I was still breastfeeding and I was still like pumping and stuff. And I just started talking to my husband in like the nastiest manner because I felt like he wasn't doing things the way that I wanted him to do. And obviously that's not his fault. And I just felt very unsatisfied about it. But there was this one day, this was like the most strictest he has ever been in my entire life. And I'm not afraid to share it because I can be an asshole. If I can be an asshole, I have to be able to deal with the fact that when someone confronts me, I have to say, okay, I need to rectify the situation. So a friend of ours was going to come over. And then after that, he said, hang on a second. Before this person arrives, I need to talk to you about how you're talking to me. Oh my God, man. I was just like, my husband has never spoken to me like that. That means it's like really, really serious. It's like I got really scared and everything. And in my head, I was like, don't be defensive, don't be defensive, don't be defensive. And it was very funny because this was something that my sister had also mentioned. She was like, are you aware of how you're talking to him?
Really?
Yeah, because I was very rude, I was very brash. And that is something that we absolutely...
Is it because you're going through a burnout? Is that why?
It would have been an accumulation,
Of
because
everything.
it wasn't just burnout, babe. It was hormones.
That's
Like
so
when
true.
you're breastfeeding, and then your period starts to come back and everything. It's actually like we can like totally go on for ages. With
That's so
this.
true.
Yeah. But
But we're gonna take a quick break.
breather. I need some fresh
breather.
air.
Drink some water before we continue on.
Yeah.
We've got Ask Sassy Sally coming up, so find out what confession or question she'll be reading out later. I'm so excited for this. And when we come back, we're going to talk how crucial it is to have a good support system when we're having a breakdown. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to Ask Sassy Sally. And today we have another confession. So let's get into it. So our question is, as we all know that being a mother is very taxing, mentally and physically, what can we do to manage burnout? Oh my God, burnout. Whichever mom is not burnout, it's like, what you on? Because I need some of that. I am constantly burnout since the day my daughter came out of my vagina. You know, like seriously. Okay, how do we manage burnout? What I do personally is that I always tell my friends, this is the one thing that I do, which is I take time, I slow down. In that moment, I would just live in that moment, basically. And how do you pace yourself? Because we have a tough time reminding ourselves whenever we're going through all these crazy things every day and we're driving around, we're doing all the chores, we're dealing with our children, especially if you have multiple children. How do you do it, by the way? I need some advice on that. So what I do is I look at my daughter. Whenever I feel like I am really, really going at it and I have no time to even stop, I literally stand. I randomly stand. I stare at my daughter because I tell myself that she's a lot bigger now. She was a lot bigger than she was yesterday. And you need to remember that in out of all this craziness, all the little dirty little footprints, the handprints that are all over the house, no matter how much you clean, how much the laundry is and everything, all of this will be gone one day. And I tell myself that a lot, which really hits me sometimes because I saw this quote, this video somewhere of this person saying it, which is basically these little things, they'll no longer be around anymore in a few years. Your children won't need you. And it really hit me, which is right now I am everything that they have, but sooner or later I won't be the only thing they need. And so before I go do all of the things I need to do and be crazy again and end up burning myself out even more, I stop, I pause, I breathe, I live in the moment and just look at this beautiful family that I've created, because they're not going to look the same tomorrow. They're not going to look the same next year. Everything's going to be bigger. I'm going to be older. My husband's going to be older. He's still going to be fine to me. But still, burnout is something that every mom go through, which is totally normal. But it's not normal when you're letting it affect your mental health. Physically is one thing, but mentally it is so much harder to heal what's hurting on the inside there than on the outside. On the outside, you can sleep, you can go for a massage, but you can't massage your brain. Okay, the only way you fix what's in here is to literally take a beat, to breathe and be happy, be grateful for this beautiful life that you have. So always live in the moment. If you have a hard time pacing yourself, you're running yourself stir crazy, just tell yourself, I need a break. I need to calm down and just enjoy life. So burnout can literally eat at you, but you can control it. Okay? So live in the moment. That's what you need to do, and be happy and grateful for the life you have now. So I always say, I'll catch you on the flip side, and you know what it is.
Welcome back.
Oh my gosh.
Diyana is like burning out.
Well, no, I'm processing what Sally actually said, and I don't deny she has a lot of facts. I like that when it's as simple as when someone asks you how do you manage burnout and stuff like that and whatnot, you kind of have to compartmentalize your priorities and let go of certain things and sort of live in the now. I mean, like, I don't know about you, but like, how fast did your girls grow up, man?
Oh, so fast.
Don't get me started. I might cry.
Yeah, with Mariam, I think because I was 6 months in, I stayed home with her. It was okay. Then I had work, but it wasn't so much. But with Zara, I think I've missed a lot of little things. Like with Mariam, I would know her first word. Like even when she blabbed, I know what she meant. But with Zara, she's more of like,
neglected child.
I love her. I love both of them, but I do feel guilty because of this. Like, I don't live the moment. Like sometimes, right, I remember I had a family vacay, like a short one for 3 days, like 2 months ago. And then I remember I was on the phone and the kids were just playing and I'm on the phone. And then I was like, can you like stop? I said, I can't, I have work. I can't. And then I do it again, and I'm so busy with work, like I keep on doing it. And he was like, "Can you stop?" I said, "Can you?" Then I got angry at him because like, why don't you understand that I have to work? Why is it? Then it's all feminism and like you just because I'm all hormonal feminism add into one. But then at night, when I saw the kids sleeping, and then say, I just lose that moment of laughter with them, that little moment that probably they are gonna remember forever.
Yeah.
And that is the moment that you should don't like. I think work can wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always forget about that. This is like a self reminder for me.
Yeah.
Because I always forget about that.
I totally can relate.
Right?
Like, So we have my helper who comes over on a
Oh,
daily
I love Kamina.
basis.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Kamina. I love you. I love you. But like there was a period of time I was working because I was working on radio at that point, and then my job started from 10 till 2, and then there are days where I have to stay on or I have events, and it was a period of time where it was really really busy, and I also had some shoots and stuff like that, and it was a good maybe about a month and a half, 2 months, but I did miss out on so many things because when I first saw it, and then I'm like, God, look, Alia did this. Yeah, she did it the other day. It hurt
my
me so much. It broke my heart, dude. Like I hated that factor, and and you're right that like, it's strange how when we start to look at being a mom, being a wife, or a partner to someone, or even just like doing your work, it's like a chore. And I started to realize from that point on that time was so damn precious that it was a given. Like now my motherhood mantra was as simple as, this is time, like this is the amount of time that we have. Half of it I will allocate it wholeheartedly for my daughter, and that means when she's around, I try my best not to look at my phone.
So
I
true.
really, really try
I
my
learned
best
that.
not to do it. Like I will, even if it means like if she's watching TV, then I'll sneak a look or whatever. But I know she's looking at me. I know that. I know she will turn to me and try to find me to see if I'm there with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and-
Because it only takes them a few more years to also be interested in the screen rather than
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Yeah.
And that really sucks because that way, those are little habits that you don't really want to get them to do in the first place. But then going back to like the whole time thing, if half of it is meant to be for your kids, the other half is for yourself. And you have to utilize it the best way that you could. Taking that time, like what Sally said, like for yourself and reminding yourself on a daily basis, it's like, it is definitely easier said than done.
Yes,
the
I wanted to
amount
say
of
that.
times I felt guilty for even wanting to hang out with you guys, for example, without bringing my
So
daughter.
true.
Because the thing is, for me, I love my daughter to bits, but I hate bringing her out. Because
Yeah.
I know my
I totally
attention
get
will
it,
be
dude.
like half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't. I'm ADHD. I have too much shit in my head right now. Like if I have to
Yeah.
think about like macam, babe, yeah, you're telling me about your life, situation.
But then your
right
kids
now,
are
and I'm
like running around there.
Yeah. It's like it
So
gets
get
to
it.
me. Like it really, because I feel like I'm a horrible friend that I don't get to be there to support my friends
Not
when they
really.
need us. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
But you see, I think burnout happens because of us. You know why? Because we put too much pressure on ourselves. We have to be that great mom. We have to be that good in our job. We have to be good in whatever we do. We have to be a good friend. But actually, right? People don't, like you said, if I can't make it because of something, you
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
And same goes to like our other friends, for example. I think same goes to our partner. Like, because at the end of the day, we're only human. And burnout is just, I think we are the one who allows burnout to happen to us.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's like burnout is the cause and effect of when we want to be perfectionists.
That's right.
It's like we want to achieve everything. We want to do everything. We want to be everything, the best at everything. And we don't want to do anything half-assed because we're like, no, God forbid that I'm a working mom, but like I'm a working mom in a mediocre standard.
But it's
No,
okay.
cannot. But it's like, but that's the thing.
But I also understand one of the things that my mom said to me when I had this burnout and I was crying all the time and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. She said this: job will never end. Your work will never finish, she said. So you need to find a time for you. So that's a community and the support system around you is so important.
Yeah, that's one thing lah. You see, like people like Sofea, I'm just like the mega question mark of the universe, where you are like the pinnacle of having a lot of shit on your plate. Where I'm like, where the hell do you find the time dengan I mean, with your community, with your never-ending jobs, and then your never-ending events, and then your children, and then your husband.
Oh my God.
And then I'm sorry
I'm
to
having
say,
anxiety now.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then somehow you host people at your house and you make your ayam masak kicap and all
my
that.
God, ayam
It's
masak
like,
kicap.
see, that's the thing, like there was a period of time, and I won't lie about this, okay, like, and this is the kind of pressures that we do get being a mom and having mom friends, and I'll be very, very honest about
Yes,
it.
be raw and unfiltered, dude.
Okay, it was one hangout session that we had at a, like that I had at a friend's house.
Okay.
And I started to realize how everything at this person's house was so like perfect. It was as if everything was meant to be like, it was like a show lah, essentially. Do
We
you know what
have Sally here, and I can see her eyes looking at us because I think that she
No,
knows.
lah, sure. But essentially, but basically, think about it this way, okay? And I know a lot of moms can relate to this because this is where the compare and contrast comes in, where you see how another mom works.
And then you feel like you want to be like that too.
Or you're like, oh my God, that's not how I would do it. Not because I'm judging you, but because where the hell did you find the time to do this, that? How do you manage to do everything
and
so
you put
well?
pressure on yourself.
Exactly. And not gonna lie, I don't know, I can't even remember if we were talking about this with Sally. When I found out that she was 23, I felt less pressured about wanting to wear a push-up bra around her like a girdle, because I was just like, I'm like, no, yes, she's a hot mom, but she's 23 and she's beautiful, and I know she's gonna grow up to be really, really beautiful as well.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. It's like when you look at your other people and
Peer
you look
pressure
at-
lah.
it's so true, and that is like an accumulation of everything. But the only thing that we could hope for is to have the best support system ever, which would either be your partner. You gotta have friends. You hopefully would have really good family members that you're super close with that you can open up. But more importantly, and I think this one is at the top priority list, whoever it is that you're expressing yourself to, you have to be the one that says that I have a problem. I need to talk to someone. I don't feel great anymore.
Yeah.
Because it really sucks, I mean, like, I'm sure you have friends that you talk about your life, like your bitch sesh like all the time, right?
Yeah, it's my husband.
So
When I go for raw, unfiltered things, it's my husband that I do it because
why is he not hosting Mamas?
God, he should, because he should have like he probably has so many like answers.
No. You know what we gotta do? We gotta get him to write Sally all the confessional.
God, all
And
the
it's
confession that
actually
Sophia's.
secretly Sophia's
No,
life.
because like you said, I do have too many in my plate. That is sometimes I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But then again, I always think about, okay, why do I do the community? It's because I want people to not feel alone, because I feel alone.
Yeah.
Whenever I have burnout, I feel alone. And I feel like, is it a safe space for me to talk about this to my friends?
Yeah.
Or would they make me feel 10 times bad? Like
Yeah.
you said, like sometimes they don't mean to make us feel bad,
Yeah.
but that's just them.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like some people communicate that the way that they communicate.
Yes.
But hardly any people mean things in a harmful manner. They don't mean ill.
Yeah.
They mean well. It's like, for me, I'm going to tell you straight up. Okay, here's a disclaimer, folks. If you ever see me and I look tired, you do not ever tell me I look tired. If anyone said to me that, oh, babe, hey, you look tired, lah. Fuck you! Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm a mom. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for swearing. But that's exactly what rings in my ear, because what do you expect me to say? I don't know what to say. It's just going to make me feel worse. But, as a disclaimer, I take back the FU, and I'm going to say this. I maybe need to be a little bit more kinder to myself, because it's not a reflection on them, it's a reflection on me at the end of the day. But I do get upset still. I don't like it, because I would never say anything like that to people. But that's the thing, like, it's finding that right people to basically know how you need to be communicated to.
Yeah, this is why I want to ask you, what is the most heartwarming thing that either your friends or family have done to you?
Since, oh my God, my sister is the best.
Oh, your sister's the best.
I love my sister. She's like, I miss her so much. I love her to bits. She's my superhero. She is my role model. She's my mentor, and she's my everything. And like, the amount of support that was given, oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional a little bit about this.
Oh my God,
of all this, shut up, like.
You know how long I wanted her to cry? Whenever I cry, she is always like,
okay,
Sophia,
I'm just taking one and wiping a tear. But
this
no.
is a tissue for you.
Shit. Okay, but in all seriousness though, like, my sister is the coolest person ever, who had always been there for me. the time that I really found that she had always said that she was gonna be the unbearable aunt. And the as in like the one who would smother her niece or nephew, who would always spoil them. Mate, I'm not even joking. She lives in Bali, yeah. And in the mornings, when at that point of time, my husband was away because he had a lot of like he was away for like 4 months because he had work. And Alia at that point was like what, a few months old. She actually called, like no, sorry, she would text me whenever she would wake up in the morning to feed her pets, and then after that, she would see it like she'll say like she'll be like, "Are you guys awake?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, Alia's awake as well." And she's like, "Okay," put the phone in front of her, and then you know what she does? She's like, "Okay, everyone, okay, let's do this. How do we spell your name? Give me an A, give me an and all that." And then she'll be like, "Okay, Alia, how does the sound of the horse make? Like, what does the sound of the horse? Nee, you know, like that sort of thing." Like she will be so animated, and she will go on for it for half an hour. And there was a period of time for like about a week where she did that, so I could get a shut eye because Alia was looking at the phone talking to her auntie, virtually. And it was like, that was definitely like, to me, one of those things that really felt like it was just a little thing that she understood, that you clearly have not gotten enough sleep. So take the 10 minutes.
It's so nice what love can do, kan?
Absolutely.
She loves you so much that you don't even need to tell her you're tired, and she knows.
Exactly. You know, she can definitely tell. And I would do that for her in a heartbeat. But that's the whole point. It's like having that fantastic support system. So if we were to like list out your support system at this point, like who's in it?
My husband.
Mm-hmm.
My mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two. My husband is there for me. Like, he would like he has a calendar for his work, and he would switch it for me if, let's say, I am tired or I am overwhelmed, or like he knows it's too much on my plate without me even telling him. So I say he's like one in a million. I would say I'm very lucky to have him. And these little, like you say, little things that they do. Like sometimes he's a pilot, so he's very passionate of flying. So whenever he say that when he fly, like all the stress goes away. But he's willing to be in stress with me rather than going on like to his passion, just to make sure that I can breathe. So like your sister and my husband. And even if you probably don't have a support system, like maybe your husband's not like that, or maybe your sister's not like that, you can have friends who's like that, where there's support system out there. I'm sure there is. Like for example, the community, like even the friends, I think the group of friends that we have are very positive, are very like there for one another. It takes time for us to find these people, but I think listeners, you can definitely find them. They are, because there's so many people in this world, and we'll find one that will resonate with us, that will be there for us.
Absolutely. Like, we come from a standpoint of being very, very privileged. We found we have our support system, and multiple support systems for different purposes. Like for me, like I have my sister, but when she's far away and I want to talk about like really mom specific stuff, then I can speak to you guys, and you know, you create that safe space for me. And I think that is something that, you know, is just so important. But have you ever had a moment where if you were to talk to a friend like for a long time, and then you start opening up, then only then she opens up to you?
Oh God, that's a few,
So like, but then behind that, if you don't talk about your problems, she will act as if everything is still okay.
I think that's because they are very scared. They're being too. If let's say they open up first, and they'll be judged. So I look at it that way. So to me, if they're ready, sometimes it's also like your vibe. Like, okay, if like
you're too intense.
You're too intense, and I don't want to talk to you. If you're like very comfortable, then okay, I can talk to you. I think I'll trust you. You won't tell this to these people. You know, that kind of things. I think we are very scared that people are gonna take it wrongly whenever we, you know, let it out, or they judge us for whatever we say. So that's why I say the community or the support system that we have, it takes time. Sometimes even with our husband of course, me and my husband, we don't just, the first year of marriage and we jive and we're so lovely. No, it takes time. It takes communication. It takes effort. It takes 10,000 fights. You know, that kind of things.
And the thing is, like, okay, so it's like, we're just, I mean, because this is like an opportunity for us, because like it's just the two of us. We get to talk about it. Like, we are recapping on some of the things that our guests have said before, but you bringing up like the whole like communicative, like the communications with your partner thing, I could not help but think what Nurin, like our guest Nurin Christina, she was talking about how it's almost as if like they never have fights. Yeah. But it's like they have that open conversation. But I think it's like we have to set that boundary. Like, we have to take that moment to set that boundary. We have to enforce that boundary in order for us to actually really talk to each other as clearly as possible. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I fight with my husband from time to time, and then but it'll be a good 20 minutes of like bickering, like pointless bickering. And my standard operating procedure, I'm sorry to say is when for me, I feel like this argument that's happening is just so pointless, is when I start saying, this is such a worldly problem lah. Why are we even thinking about this? Like, exactly. Like, there are worse things that are happening in this world right now. Why are we fighting about this? But I decided that I don't want to step out from that conversation being angry. That's unless I'm the one that says, hang on a second, we need to take a pause, we need to take a breather for us to take a moment to think of what we need to think about. As opposed to, you know what, just go. You know, like, versus that. That, you know what, just go is always going to be another trigger to another big fight. And you will still carry the anger with you. So it's kind of like being kind to the other person and also being kind to yourself at the end of the day certainly adds lesser pressure to getting that burnout. Like, I don't know how you argue with your husband. Like, I don't want to buka ayib or anything like that.
No, it's the same
Throw
thing.
glasses everywhere.
Oh my God. I would say I'm the immature one. Oh my God, he's so happy to hear this. Because I never say it in front of his face. But oh my God, Mama's here just make you like say all these things.
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, but honestly, I am the immature one sometimes in the relationship. And sometimes when he says something, I'll say like, oh, whatever, I'll just go, you know, that kind of thing. But as we grow, I do understand that that's what's the point. Yeah. So nowadays, whenever we argue, I always say like, okay, well, so what's the point here? Like, I will say that like give me a point. So then if you know, okay, that's your fault, say sorry about that and that's it. Then let's move on. Because what's the point of like doing that? That's just going to add another like, you know, like, okay, stress in your life kind of things. So I like that. And I think that talking to our guests for the past, you know, how many episodes, I learned a lot. I thought that I want to do this podcast with you because, okay, I want to empower people. But at the end of the day, I learned so much more. And every time I drive out of the studio, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm a new person. This is what I'm going to do. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like there's no guilt in having left my kids for the past like hour and a half of us being
because
here.
I'm going to be a better mom.
Yeah. In hopes that, which is why, like, I think at the end of the day, like, because obviously this sucks because we don't really have like all day to do this. But my last question to you, what is your favorite takeaway from this podcast? Like after the 11 episodes that we've already recorded.
Getting to know you.
Really?
Yeah.
I was totally not expecting that.
But honestly, I mean, getting to know you, getting to know so many other guests that I never thought, like, for example, Nadia Halim's episode. Yeah. I never thought she's like that. And I got to know her better. And what I learned from this podcast is you don't judge by just looking at an Instagram screen.
Oh, absolutely.
And also what I learned is communication. I think all the episode will talk about communication, how communication plays such a big role.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and having a community is so important and finding the right community. Yeah. And honestly, I learned a lot about you in that sense that what kind of person you are, what kind of amazing mother you are, you know, all these kind of things. So I'm very glad that we did Mama's Here podcast, and I really hope that more people will find joy listening to us, will laugh, And also we learn. And if you feel lonely, you know, you can always DM us on our Instagram and we will like lion you, man. We have
definitely.
Sassy Sally to just disturb her.
Defo. So I think like we're gonna wrap things up over here, but just to share that we actually have a special 13th episode coming up. So more details on our Instagram account at mamashere.podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But how about you?
What?
I forgot to ask you.
Hola, yeah, no need lah.
Just end it in a like a nice you know, like
A
conclusion.
good summary.
That
Okay.
what do you feel of Mamas Here? What do you learn from it?
Dude, if there's anything that I really, really learned from it is definitely the power of lifting other people.
Oh my god, yes.
And how it actually comes back to you is so true. Like, it is unbelievable how real some, if not most of the moms that have been here that have actually shown, even after having finished recording, each person always has it is like, I have an idea that we can do to help other people.
Oh my god, yes.
Every single time.
So true.
Every single time. And it's like, it goes to show that the beauty of this podcast is the power of paying it forward at the end of the day.
Yes.
Our knowledge that we have learned, we're passing it down to you, and hopefully you'll do the same by passing it down
and
to other
hopefully
people.
we'll learn from you too, you know, with your
Absolutely.
feedbacks and everything like that.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes,
So-
and before we say bye-bye, I can't believe I made Dee cry.
Shut up, lah. It was a tear. It was a tear. You can barely
We need Naz here, so you might cry
Oh my
more.
gosh. Please lah. Okay. Anyways, we're going to head off now. Thank you
Okay,
very
thank
much.
you so much for listening, guys.
Yes, and I can't believe we're on episode 12. It's crazy.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay, so until the 13th episode, but either ways, have a safe, like, you know, way of dealing with your burnout.
Yes,
And breathe.
and doesn't mean that you have a lot of work. You're productive. Having self-care is the best. too.
God, we should have started with that.
Right. Okay. Bye, guys. We'll never end this podcast.
See ya. Today's episode of Mama's Here podcast is produced by Kelvin Tay, Raghinie, Ravi, and Bryan Henry, and edited by Bryan Henry, Aswan, and Kelvin Tay.
For more of us, find us on all social media platforms at Mamas Here Podcast. We've been your hosts, Diyana, Hashim, and Sofea Mastan.
Bye.
Bye.